Hello everybody and welcome to another Beyond All Reason video. Today we have a 4v4 on a Rosetta. Often a map played as an AVA map, but today played as 4v4. For those that haven't seen the map before, the other additional start points are often here, here and here. And sometimes like there and there, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I've played this map. Often what happens is someone walks for this middle max point here because of how rich it is of 10 metal. Very, very, very strong amount of metal there to take, so very important to take those metal points. And who have we got playing today? Well, starting on this left side in yellow, we have Mr. Blodir. Playing Cortex going bots. It does seem like the blue colored team are trying some sort of strategy here, giving metal to Nanook specifically. Greek next in orange, part of the SG clan that we saw previously, playing Armada here and going bot. Next is the random variable as Cortex in pink, and finally the man that we all know, Mr. Autopilot, playing Armada today and also going bots. Now, their opponents, the other highest person OS-wise on the team, Xfactorlive, and below him is In the Club, who is playing Cortex going bots, followed by Sash Karin in the light blue, Cortex bots, and finally Nanook in the corner here, also Cortex bots. So a bit of a mixture, but mostly Cortex on this right hand side with the exception of X Factor, whereas on the left side we've got a fairly split down the middle, 50-50. As we zoom on out here, you can see that random variables already getting this middle max point. Some early raids happen. See, like Greek manages to get some units through here, which will cause some problems for X Factor in a minute. Meanwhile, everything else is pretty much clear. It's just X Factor that's got a bit of a leak to worry about. A Resbot, though, does get killed by 2 ticks. But in the club, losing a Resbot at this early stage is not very good. Meanwhile, the scouts desperately rush in here to save the metal extractors of X Factor, but only a single man extractor gets taken out there. That's a pretty good defense by X Factor. These ticks, though, where are they going to go? And seeing this is a map that's normally played as a 4v4, but is actually, 8v8, but is now being played as 4v4, I expect there to be a lot more metal available on the map. So we're probably going to end up seeing pretty early Tech 2. Maybe even like a transition over to vehicles, just due to the fact that, you know, the players both have a lot more metal available. Another Resbot going down in that pretty much exact same spot. And both parties being pretty passive at the moment. No one really making any risks here. This Resbot's going to get killed. Another death of a Resbot. I think we're dead Resbot at the moment. Interesting to see, though, that Autopilot only building ticks. And marching them to their death versus X Factor's units here. Autopilot also losing that radar and a construction bot. Only just starting to have pawns approach, but he's already got to face 4 blitzes. And also here comes in the club's units as well to assist X-Factor. Now, if you were Cortex, a Cerberus up here is quite useful. Sometimes see that in the 8v8s, but in this smaller team game, I think the map might be pretty dynamic that you probably won't end up seeing this. It's Blodir's combo about to be caught out by Sashkarin's grunts. Nanook not able to make the most of that though. Instead, not going into assist, but just falling back, and that's a lot of metal there to have just left in this early stage. 580 including this bit at the top here, and that's a bit of a waste. Nanook though didn't really have the forces here to make the most of that attack. Some ticks make it over the hill, heading right towards X-Factor. He does have LLTs in places. We can see in the club is trying to protect, but these metal extractors are all exposed. And that's not looking good, as all of that economy is now about to go. Oh, but the self-destruct of X-Factor of that metal extractor causes a chain reaction with ticks. That is a great move. And as we check back over the front, we can see here Blodir going for a very, very forward Tech 1 bot lab here to apply more pressure on the front. Nanook is doing similar though, as he goes to build a vehicle factory on the front. Sash and Greek just fighting over LLTs right now. And at the same time, X-Factor slowly pushing forward here with some Janisses. Here are artilleries. Somewhere. Bugs will start causing problems soon if they get up on this high ground over here. The Autopilot went all in on the units of X-Factor here. And it did not pay off for him at all. And even with the assistance of random variable here, will not be enough to keep him at bay or actually do any damage. Random variable also being pressured in the middle here, but also applying some pressure back himself from those artillery. In X-Factor though getting all of that metal reclaim, but when we look on the bottom here, big problems for Nanook, as a huge amount of units from Blodir here, a mixture of grunts and thugs, applying tremendous pressure on Nanook. If it wasn't for Sashkarin coming in here with his own tanks to try and save the day, Nanook would be in tremendous trouble. Greek getting pressure, doing the pressure to Sashkarin though, front line, and Sashkarin's attention is elsewhere. Can't really see each player's base at the moment, but we can see just from the mini-map here that Sashkarin is a little bit behind to his opponent here, who is already transitioned to Tech 2 and has started actually giving out Tech 2 constructors. Now Blodir being up on this hill, these vehicles are not going to be able to path to him. They can't move up there. So like, if they can keep the high ground, they do have a bit of an advantage, but tanks can reach. Juno missiles coming out now as well. Blodir having to fall his commander back. Now the question is, who's going to get this reclaim? As 3k metal is just sat now right here, and Nanook and Sashkarin already have Resbots there. At the same time, X-Factor is pushing in on the top side here, Autopilot's comm is already at half health. And those Janus shots are really difficult to deal with because they just trap your unit. And Autopilot having to fall back. You see Blodir here doing okay, still at the bottom. Some tanks managing to make it past. Nanook's comm in an extremely tenuous position now, being this far exposed forward. Autopilot's commander gets caught out with 3% health left. Take nothing to kill that commander. A lot of these maces manage to find them. Autopilot's command looks fairly safe now, I would say. But keep an eye on what's going on at the bottom here. So we had some base harass onto Blodir, but nothing too bad. Nanook's done a pretty decent job here at getting in and forcing his opponent back. Just single tanks in different locations. Sashkorin applying a good amount of pressure to Greek, but he's losing quite a lot of forces to do it. And his opponent is also Tech 2 now as well, so that's something to worry about. Meanwhile, along the top here, a tide of green and blue coming across and just absolutely destroying everything in its path. The base of Random Variable being absolutely decimated. But the thing is, they're not able to get in and deal with Autopilot's base at all. And as more green and blue make their way down into Greek space, this will be a lot of damage. We just actually saw Random Variable's comm get destroyed there as well. And surprisingly, not really using these forces to go for the actual base itself. There we go, now they're turning around. Getting this factory down is a big thing. Let's try and make sure that happens. There they go. And now with basically 2 players' bases destroyed, it's down to Blodir and Autopilot, very top and very bottom of the map here, to make the difference. You can see Blodir is trying to push in here on Nanook, but not really able to do much. Expecting the bottom player here to have gone Tech 2, but he has, and then reclaimed his factory by the looks of it. But didn't manage to provide anything to his teammates, which is what's kind of causing them problems. We did see Blodir was gifted a Tech 2 from Greek, and that made a big difference to the amount of units that Blodir is able to push out. And if that didn't happen on the right side of the map, that would explain why Sashkorin is slowly but surely falling even further and further behind. Even though his opponent has been massively shut down now, the question is he able to get stuff up on his own? Nanook's kind of struggling here versus Blodir. Blodir just churning out so many of these thugs that the small amount of tanks is just not standing up to the pressure. And along the top we do see Xfactor's also transitioned over to Tech 2 now as well. It's quite a long way behind Autopilot, and Autopilot has been left now for a while to kind of do whatever he wants, which is quite surprising. We can see he's just mostly got welders up here. Not really much pressure being applied to him, just these occasional portals, but Ashkarin throwing his commander into the mix here. He's desperate to get that reclaim. Seems like we missed the explosion of Nanuk's commander here at some point. And looks like Sashkarin is about to join him. And there it goes. And with that, we're about to see the complete annihilation of Nanuk. As not only is commander dead there that was holding the front, but this Tech 2 factory is not going to last, especially positioned here. And now Sashkarin has to fall back and try and defend what he can. But this, I don't know, it's like a good placement if you were controlling the front, but because he wasn't controlling the front and there's like no build power there, this is kind of a bit of a ballsy place to place this. Especially when you've got all this idle build power back in your base back here. But that's going to be Nanuk destroyed. Meanwhile, Greek has started to, well, we've been rebuilding for a while now. And it's doing pretty good here. Now starting to apply some pressure to Sash. Sash is having to focus completely on Blodir here. Meaning that in the club is having to focus on defending Sash with his units instead. And now also we see here that with sniper bots up from Autopilot, Xfactor's really struggling here. He's doesn't really have much to deal with Autopilot and finish him off. Autopilot's managed to stave off defeat and is actually also building a nuke here. Whereas in the middle is falling ever so surely. And this huge swaths of yellow covering the map. Blodir's done a tremendous job. But this force here is not going to be stopped by much. And some Fiends isn't really going to do anything. As Blodir churning out unit after unit, sending it right towards his enemy. He's now finally got some Tech 2 in the mix of that as well, and this is just going to wash over the blue team. And there is nothing that they're going to be able to do to stop this. Nanuk saying he's miscalculated the amount of thugs. Yes, I mean, that is a lot of thugs. Surprisingly, the build power that Sashir has is enough to keep this twin guard up and running under tremendous pressure. Now, in the club making a slight false statement here, because they didn't kill the whole top, because Autopilot is very much alive and unharmed. They did manage to take out a single person, but it wasn't enough to change the fight, really. We can see random variable actually being gifted units here in order to control, to give him something to do. But now Autopilot should be able to push into Xfactor pretty easily. Xfactor is having to focus elsewhere on stuff now. And in the club, and Nanuk's completely gone. Sashkarin is completely gone. Just 2 versus 3 now, in essence. and it would take a tremendous amount of work to somehow come back from this. A good mixture here of these Jaguars and Bulls to deal with a huge mix of stuff, but as the forces slowly make their way towards Indicop's base, Xfactor will be the lone survivor. And the opposing team still has 3 commanders left, so it's not like you can go for a comm snipe here to win. And also on top of that, Xfactor loses his base to a nuke, and with that, that will definitely be a GG. And it looked like the blue-colored team had it. If they'd continued pressuring on Autopilot and managed to take Autopilot out, they would have been able to just sweep down and take out the rest of the map. But Blodir's tremendous pressure from the Tech 1 units just completely overwhelmed Nanook and Sash. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed this one. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.